twice we've seen Marcello make sort of a big raise on the turn and then nearly check an insta-muck on the river. So Tom must be thinking to himself, hey,
yeah.
This guy's going to start making some plays. This guy's making plays on me on the turn.
Absolutely.
This 3-bet by Tom from the big blind?
It would appear so. There's 20 in the pot. And Tom continuing to check, it appears. Oh, no. No, I'm sorry. He's reaching for chips. I thought he had tapped the table there.
16,500.
Firing a big continuation bet.
Sort of to knock out ace highs, is that the idea?
Knock out ace highs, set up multiple barrels on later streets. It's also a good hand to semi-bluff with on this flop, because if you hit a king or a queen, that's a monster on the turn.
And if Marcello calls here again, I mean, is it the same sort of thing? Look, I might try and make a play on the turn.
Yeah, he has 2 overcards. If he hits either of them, in actuality, hitting the king would be a disaster. But
is Marcello ever ahead right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Tom can easily have 9-7, 9-10, even some relatively complete miss like Jack-7. We haven't seen him continuation bet much, but just because that's the case doesn't mean that his continuation bets will be particularly strong.
This feels like a real heads-up match. These guys are both kind of out on a weird limb.
Yeah.
I mean, look what
yeah, pots like this are why I love heads-up no limit.
Holy Toledo.
36,500.
Tom's bluffing with the best hand here. Marcello has just stone cold nothing at this point, but doesn't mean he can just give up.
So, I mean, the overall reason for Durrr betting here, is he trying to get Marcello off, consider that he could be floating, or is he actually trying to get him off a big hand here?
No, I would not say he's trying to get him off a big hand here. I'd say he's trying to get him off of ace high or a float. I think he is not expecting Marcello to fold a pair to this bet very often at all.
Right.
Marcello calls again with just king 9 high. At this point, he can't think he's best all that often, though, as I said before, no reason Tom wouldn't play 9-7, 9-10 like this. Board pairs. If Marcello was optimistic that his king 9 high was best before, that is a good card for him.
I mean, if you're Durrr, you've got to think, you know, I mean, Marcello could have a monster here.
He certainly could.
Or, I mean, in his mind, he's not going to... There's 126,000 in there. Is it the Sammy all in?
All in.
Wow! Oh my God! Instant.
97,000.
I guess I didn't pick the right time.
What a gutsy play by Marcello.
Well, I don't think...
And it was a tiny raise, too.
Not shoving the river, at least.
My God, it was only 48,000 more for Tom to call. And Marcello shows the bluff.
Oh, that's going to spin him out.
Man, that shows great awareness. The only reason to make such a small raise there is because he thinks that Tom might be bluffing with a better hand. Tom's never going to fold a value bet for such a tiny raise. It's only to beat a hand like King, Queen, King, Jack, maybe an ace that Tom might be bluffing with. What a play by Marcello.
He's speechless. He's speechless. It's like it was such an insane play.
Can I get more chips, or do I need to be below 125?
He's going to revive.
How much more did you go on for? Like 50,000, right?
No, it's for almost 40,000. But I decided before to do it.
Can I? Or I'm not.
How can you call? You cannot call, even if it's to 20,000.
115.
A bluff, and then he shows it, and a sick bluff.
Wow, that was unbelievable. I mean, the guy just knew that Tom Dwan was bluffing, and he was so sure in his read that he could even see that Tom Dwan getting 5-1 on the pot was going to fold his hand. And it was planned out from such an early stage. It was planned out probably from before the flop, at least from the flop, a float from 2 streets with nothing and then a re-raise bluff on the end. You know, that's a very, very difficult move to execute, but we know Marcello's capable of this, and didn't he just show it?
Yeah, it was slightly weird though, wasn't it? Because, like you say, this bet on the end is 60,000 more. He's offering 5-1, and you've got to be pretty sure the guy's not going to call you. Well, don't you think maybe doing it on the turn, where you can put some leverage with your money, and now the guy's not getting any odds at all, you've got a lot more chance of getting the bluff through, or does that just look too much like a bluff?
Well, I think that the fact is, once the rivers come out, is that all the draws that your opponent might hold, you know, they've missed, okay? If Tom has some sort of strong draw, he wanted to be sure that all the drawing hands missed. He also wanted to be sure that he couldn't be seen to be on a draw. So, you know, once the river comes, there's no more cards, he knows that this is the board, and he just went for it, and I thought it was a great move.
And also, like, the size of the bet against the size of the pot, it just looks like he can't be bluffing, because he's going to get called so often.
Yeah, this is a great move in poker. When someone seems like they're pot committed, you know, just if you can make a bluff there, then it just looks super strong.
So he's outplayed him? He's outplayed him.
Yeah, in that hand, he definitely outplayed him, and you know, this is 2 high-quality players. They can outplay each other all night long.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is not totally David and Goliath we're watching here. You know, this guy, he's a proper poker player.
Let's see how Durr responds.
It was pretty crazy, yeah. It was crazy. I don't understand how he calls the turn, and then, yeah. I thought that, like, I almost went all in on the river, but Marcello and I play online a lot, and I had a bunch of times in the last, you know, few months where I pulled all-in bluffs in that kind of spot, where I just 3-barreled and then bet all in the river for like 1.3x the pot. And a few times in that spot where I bet and then bet a little under the pot when I had a similar stack, and I had it the times that I didn't go all in, and the other times I went all in and I didn't have it. So I thought it was better in this case. Maybe he'd remember that, and instead it definitely wasn't better, because if I went all in, he would have just folded and it would have worked out. But oh well, next time.
Welcome back to the Full Tilt Poker DURRR Million Dollar Challenge. Durr has reloaded for $250K more. Marcello got the money with that big King-9 bluff, and Isaac, I mean, your mouth's still hanging open.
That hand was just incredible. I think it really shows that Marcello is thinking on a very high level. To know that not just is that a spot that Tom is likely to be bluffing, but it's a spot where he's bluffing with a better hand than King-9 often enough that Marcello has to make that little raise on the river to blow him off it.
And I mean, Durr's still
so confused.
Yeah, he's still shaking his head, because it was like, isn't it the kind of play that could only work against a player as good as Durr?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why you love it.
Yeah, I think it shows a really great awareness of how Tom is playing that Marcello made the play he did. Against a less sophisticated player who has to have a value bet there, or if he's bluffing with absolutely nothing.
What? That was just too safe.
The play doesn't make any sense, but against somebody like Tom, who might fire 3 barrels with a decent king high, which I do think is a solid play on that texture, it's a really sophisticated and good play, I think.
Been watching Durr a lot, and you know, he likes a good play, even if it costs him money. He appreciated it.
Oh yeah,
but I think right here,
I think that's the biggest smile we've seen out of him yet today, was when he got showed that King-9.
I think he's kind of rattled though.
Well,